Hi folks, welcome back to another story from the road. And the millennium, the year 2000, 26 years ago. It doesn't seem that long ago, does it? That's when I became full-time, being a musician, singer, whatever you want to call it. And the first gig of 2000, before I'd actually packed the job in, which would come 3 months later, I talked about that Big Lils in Leeds. My first gig back into the new millennium was January the 3rd, 2000, my dear mother's birthday. I was booked into a pub called the Imperial at Beeston in Leeds. No stage or anything, just played in front of a big bay window. Carrying the gear in, it looked rough. But I thought, I've played these places before, it'll be fine, there'll be lovely people. There normally were. There was not normally any trouble. So as I'm taking my gear in and coming back out, and Kev's going in and I'm coming out, and when I went back in, my guitar had gone. And there's a chap I spied up at the back, legging it out the back door. So I chased after him and, I was only messing about, mate. And I thought, well, he's got about 6 people with him, I'm not kicking off. I just sort of laughed it off and said, well, I'll have it back, thanks. So took it back, and there was an older chap there who looked like a gangster, and he was. When I did my sound check, he came up, sort of glaring, and he just said, look, don't you be loud tonight. He said, I hate country music. I've been on the piss since Christmas Eve. This was like January the 3rd, and he said, my head's like this. And he opened his coat and he'd got a gun. A real one. They want a cowboy. And he just said, if you're too loud, I'll shoot you. So, yeah, that was a little bit concerning. But I thought, I want my money. I'm here now and I'm set up. So I kept the volume as low as I could possibly get it. And he kept looking up like that if it was getting a bit loud. We never touched the volume. We kept it down, but he was looking. And it put me about. After the first set, he came up and he said, thank you for that. And he said, get whatever you want to drink from behind the bar. So I went to the landlord and I said, can I have a word? And I said, that chap round there. And he went, oh yeah. And I said, he said, has he threatened you? And I went, well, he threatened to shoot me if I was too loud. He went, well, don't be too loud, will you? Because he will. He said, he runs this place. This chap behind the bar was the landlord, but I don't know who this chap was, but he just said, don't upset him. Don't upset him. He said, he's told me to get a drink. Yeah, whatever you want. I said, I'll have a triple Jack Daniels with 1 block of ice, please. He said, yeah, no problem. So I was still like this, shaking a bit, and finished the gig. And it was 10:30 close, I remember, on that one. They were still drinking up at the back. And I'm not kidding you, me and Kev had got that gear packed up and in the back of the van, in the back of the car, by 20 to 11. And I went to get my money, not realising it was a no pickup. The agent would pay me. And I thought, right. And he said, it's been a good night. And I went, oh, really? And he said, yeah. He said, that window you've been playing in front of, he said, there's often a stray bullet will come through there from outside. So I thought, well, there's one for the book, which is like why I'm doing these. So I've never forgotten that one. And I rang the agent, Mike Story, who it was at the time, and said, do not ever try to book me back in that pub again. And blow me, 3 months later, he rang me up. They want you back at the Imperial at Beeston. I said, oh, really? I'm sure they do. No way. Whether the pub's still there or not, I don't know. But that was quite a frightening night, really. So following on, 3 months later, it would be March, towards the end of March, I'd left my job at West Bar Bakery, where it was the best job I'd ever had. But sadly, the owner, Peter, had died the previous November. And morale was quite low, shall we say. And Scott, who was Pete's lad, went to another bakery, took another job, because he didn't get on with the other with the other owner. So he just said, there's a job here for you if you want it, And he said, it'd be less hours, more money, and you can choose your own hours, basically. You don't have to start at 4 a.m. And Pete, when he was alive, bless him, he was so good to me. He, when the music started taking over and I was struggling to get in at 4 o'clock in the morning, he said, you can start a bit later, you know, and he did. He looked after me, but like I said, after he died, it went downhill fast. So I left and went to work at this other bakery in Sheffield that Scott was working at. But the chap who actually owned it, who was all right with Scott, he was forever chasing your wages, and the van never had any petrol in it. You're having to put petrol in out of your own pocket and then chase him for the money and that. I think I lasted 3 weeks, maybe 4. The final straw came, and I know people I've known for a long time know this story, but I'd gone to work in my car, taken the van out, no fuel. So I got some fuel in it. As I got going, it started absolutely tanking it down with rain. The windscreen wipers didn't work. Couldn't see a hand in front of you. It wasn't safe to drive. So I tried ringing the gaffer up and said, the wipers are broken. I can't drive. I can't see where I'm going at all. It's absolutely siling it down. So he came out in his car and he said, how many deliveries have you got left? I said, I've got about 4. And I said, I'm already an hour behind after, you know, messing about getting petrol. In fact, no, I'd run out of petrol and I had to go and walk to a filling station to get it. So he gave me his car and he just said, I'll wait till the rain stops and take the van back home. And it really rained all day that day. So I'm going, I get a few hundred yards down, no fuel in his car. I had to put more fuel in. And then as I got going, I got a flat tyre, puncture. Great. So by this time, I'm absolutely up to here with it. And I'm on a slip road near the M1. It was like Bayton, Southall area of Sheffield. And there was a burger van there. And I thought, well, I'm starving, you know, like they're doing breakfast, bacon butties. So I thought, I'll have to ring Paul. He'll have to come out and sort this out. Oh, no, that's right. I took the bread out to get to the spare tyre. Spare tyre, flat. Nothing. There was no jack anyway. So I put all the bread back in and it's peeing it down. I'm soaked through. Went and got a bacon sandwich. I tried for an hour to ring him and it just went to voicemail each time. And I sat there wet with my soggy bacon sandwich and I thought, somebody up there is telling me something here. And I thought, that's it. I'm quitting. So I left the car full of bread on this close to a slip road near the M1. And I walked probably about 3 miles to the tram stop in Sheffield, got the tram into town, and then I treated myself to a taxi to the bakery to go and pick my car up, dropped the keys through the letterbox, and I just never went back. In fact, I never got paid for that week either. So that was how I became a full-time musician. And on my way home, I thought, what have I done? What have I done? I've never, ever been out of a job, never been on the dole, and I was a bit worried, so I rang all the agents up that I worked for by that time and said, look, I will take anything except the Imperial at Beeston. Get me anything at all, I don't care how much it is, I need every penny I can get. So that was the beginning of that in 2000, and more stories coming up very soon.